Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the entire inside of our Suburban house. In part 1, we made the entire outside of the house. If you missed that video, I will leave it linked down below in the description. But this time, in part 2, we are now going to head inside and make the rest of it in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. So the first thing that we want to do as we enter the house is start making the interior structure. To begin, we will place a row of chiseled tuff in this position, connecting the front corner of the house all the way to the back. And on top of the tuff, we will place an alternating mixture of black and white concrete, like this. It doesn't matter whether you start with black or white, all that matters is that we have a pattern that looks like this. The reason being is because on top of this block, we will place an oak door, and then we will place 3 rows of pale oak planks extending up and around the door, just like this. What that then allows us to do is add in a floor inside of the house made using oak planks, and this will be the living room floor. Notice how the floor, of course, is placed in line with the first row of pale oak rather than the chiseled tuff below it. We also just have to replace underneath the front door with an oak plank, and then we do, of course, have to just replace the front door. This is looking good. You know, whilst we're here, we should really make the staircase that takes us from the first floor all the way up to the second floor. This starts all the way on this far wall by placing an oak stair here. We then place a series of oak stairs extending up and back like this until eventually we are 1 row away from the wall. We will then place pale oak planks aside the oak stairs, kind of like this, and then we'll stick an oak door here, and then we will place pale oak planks around just like this. And we can extend this oak plank outwards a little bit. Now, we're not just going to make the entire floor, although we actually could, to be quite honest. But before we get ahead of ourselves, this is what the side of the staircase looks like. And we also just want to make it a bit more interesting by placing some flipped up oak trapdoors along the side of the stairs. It just looks kind of nice like this. And just whilst we are up here, we also want to add a series of trapdoors just along the side of the stairs as well, just at the top, so it's just a nice banister. And there is actually no reason why we shouldn't make the entire second floor. It might actually be helpful. So extend that row of oak planks all the way throughout the house, and it actually gives us a nice benchmark on how high the walls are going to be for the ground floor, because that is where we are going to be focusing our attention first of all. Although, whilst we are up here, let's just destroy out onto the balcony, replace this block here with an oak plank, and we'll actually keep the balcony as it is. I was going to replace it with oak, but I think it's just fine with the stone. So let's drop all the way down into the lower level now. We will enter where the kitchen is going to be, and we will seal up this wall, just like this. So what we also want to do is we want to count along this wall and find the fourth block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a row of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pale oak like this. And then underneath this, we are just going to place the mixtured pattern. It might have even been easier to make the floor first of all, but it doesn't really matter. We want the mixtured pattern of white/black concrete to continue underneath here, as this is going to be kind of a cupboard or a pantry. So it's kind of a personal choice what floor you want inside of the pantry. It's not even going to be that big. You're not going to see that much of it. But whether you want the actual kitchen floor, which is the black and white tile versus the oak planks, that's up to you. Oh, and also, whilst we are here, we have to break into this wall. So maybe we'll have just one door for the pantry, and then we'll have a door here. Although the door for the garage, which is what this is going to be, will also follow in from the kitchen, I think. So we just want to continue the pattern here. Door here. So this is a door into the pantry. This is a door into the garage. I don't know why I said garage. Garage. In my native tongue. But there we go. So this is the layout of the kitchen. And all we have to do now is extend the floor pattern all the way throughout the empty kitchen floor. So the easiest way to do this, in my opinion, will always be to place all of one colour and then all of the other colour. So starting with whichever you want. It's quite dark in here. I kind of wish that I might have added a light source into the house. I might actually do that after I've made the floor. But we are just going to add all of the flooring, and you can see it just looks really nice. It's just such a nice kitchen floor. Also works for bathrooms as well, but I think of it more as a kitchen material, to be quite honest. I don't think you can go too far wrong. We have the back door here as well, which I'm going to suggest that you extend the floor material out into. And we are also just going to now drop down into the garage. And for the garage, we are just going to have a set of stairs that extends down into the floor, just some wooden stairs like this. And then we are going to replace the floor inside of here. I'll give you two choices, either stone or andesite. Now, andesite makes a little bit more sense, only because it kind of like continues out into the driveway, but stone also does make sense too, because it means that it's actually like being it's a finished floor in here, so to speak. So it's up to you which way you want to go about it. For the roof as well, I actually think that it would look nicer to apply some stone stairs in here. So we are going to have kind of like an artificial roof. So we'll have one stair here, one set of stairs here, just like this. And then we can just add in a row of bricks here. That looks pretty nice. I mean, it's not like even and level or anything, but I do think that it looks good regardless. And aside these stairs, I kind of want to add just kind of like a guardrail of sorts. So just kind of like this. Just along the side. I know it doesn't really do anything, but I like the aesthetic of it. And now, let there be light. By the way, this was done by using a command, just replacing the top layer of air in every single room with light. Another way to do this is with the actual light block, which you can get by /give space your name space light, and you'll get this little light bulb, and you can just place it along the top of your rooms if you so wish. And it stops the need for lanterns or torches or what have you, but it's up to you whether you like it. Anyway, we are going to move through into the living room, where we have this door underneath the stairs. This door is going to take us down into the basement. First, we have to make the basement, so we'll remove that row of oak planks, and we will start installing some oak stairs. But we do also have to remove... Aha, there we go. So we have to kind of like deftly remove some blocks. It's a little bit tricky, but the point that we kind of want to get to is where we have this window. So let's just excavate a little bit. And this is good. So, the goal is for us to remove at least 2 rows from underneath this window. Let's just, in kind of a small square. We will lay out the actual plan in a second, but I just want to give us some working room. Okay, this will do. So, right of this window, we want to leave ourselves, in total, an 8-row gap to work with, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this next row here is going to be wall. And it's kind of up to you what you want the wall to be made out of. Originally, I did use pale oak, but I'm thinking tough might actually be better. So, along the front, we have a row of 8, okay? However, along the side, we want a row of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this will be 7. Which means the next row, which will be here, we are going to extend all the way across this back wall. I'm starting to wonder if chiseled tough is the right choice for this, because it's quite dark. But regardless, we can remove some of this wall here. It would be dark, it is a basement after all, and this is the foundational block, but regardless we will extend all of these blocks down, and we kind of want to make it so that the walk down into the basement is okay, so this is where we'll land in the basement. We have to replace these blocks with chiseled tuff, and let's just take a little look at this. So yeah, there we go, that's looking good. We can replace these oak plank blocks with pale oak, and then we're kind of stuck with the stairs. I don't think that there's really a way to change. We can make that an upside down one, so that looks a little bit cleaner. But the only issue, unless you are willing to dig an additional row down, is that the floor for the basement does look a little bit funny. But the way that you would get around that is by digging, and you could because you have enough space, by digging one more row down and then replacing the ceiling. So maybe we will actually do that, because it will look better this way, like undeniably. So let's just dig one more row down. And so this is where the floor is going to be. So I'm thinking stone for the floor. Nice and simple choice. It needs to be different from everything else. I don't think a wooden floor makes sense down here. We're quite far down below the foundation. Let's go with stone. Or andesite if you like. This does mean that we do have to just go around a little bit more. Oak here. And we just have to replace... Why don't we just chuck one light block just right in the middle so it's a little bit nicer. And we've just got to replace all of this with tuff. Which again, I think makes sense because of the foundation blocks. So, there we go. That, you see, oh, okay, that already feels better to me. So, this is the one dilemma though. What do we use for the ceiling? So, do we use, say, oak slabs? Because these would probably be floorboards, right? Like above us. So do we use like a series of oak slabs, which we will unfortunately see from the outside? That is the only thing that I don't like about this. I'm going to place another light block here. That's the only thing I don't like about this, is from the outside, in doing this, it looks so much cleaner on the inside, which I think matters a bit more. But from the outside, let's just take a little look. You will get that effect of seeing the oak, but it's so minor, so it's kind of up to you. But regardless, the first thing we want to place down here is a chair. This is placed right in the middle of this back wall with 2 acacia planks, with acacia stairs on top, back to back, and acacia stairs facing each other in front. And this just looks like a rather comfy armchair. We can stick a scaffolding just to the left, and we can use a bit of green carpet just in front of the chair. In the corner of the room, we are going to stack some bookshelves, just like this. You could even have a couple just on this side as well. Next to this is going to be a washer and dryer, so this is a smooth quartz block, smooth quartz stair on top, item frame, light blue glass pane, and then next to this we will place a white concrete with a stone pressure plate on top, item frame in front, then we'll leave a gap, 2 end rods here, light grey glazed terracotta, and then 2 white concretes, stone buttons in front, block of iron trapdoor, and facing the chair we will remove these 2 blocks here and place note blocks, and then we will have a painting on this wall which just wants to be a 2x2 right there. And that's pretty much all we're going to have down here, just a pretty chill room / utility room. Next, we are going to head all the way back up into the living room, where first of all, we will place a lamp in this corner by placing 2 end rods on top of each other and then a pillar quartz. And then we are going to have a painting here on this wall, so this is going to be a 1x2, just here. We also want a painting here, this is a 2x1, or 1x2, whichever that one isn't, it's that one. And then from here, we are going to place, in this position, just next to this window, we will place 2 spruce stairs. And then we will flip up some spruce trapdoors just left and right of the stairs. We want to create a coffee table by flipping up a spruce trapdoor here, 2 against it, 1 here, and then all the way over here, I think that we might even line up with here. We'll place a spruce stair, flip up some spruce trapdoors, just like this. We could even make the coffee table a little bit larger, I think. Maybe we could go for a 2x2, just like this. And on the coffee table, we can just have like some item frames and a flower pot, just like so. And then, on this wall, just next to the entrance, we'll have like an armor stand here. We'll have like a tripwire hook here. And just a chest underneath the tripwire hook. I don't know if this is a bit too busy. As we walk in, maybe we'll just shift the chest just 1 row over like this. Well, against the staircase, we will place a beehive here. We will dig in this wall and place a bookshelf. And then we will flip up a spruce trapdoor here, here, and then here. And then we will replace this block here with a spruce trapdoor. And then we will stick a lantern here. And then we will grab an item frame. Here. Here. Book here. We could also have a book here on the coffee table also. We want brown banners here and here for curtains. And a little bit of brown carpet just encircling the base of the staircase. And then lastly, I suppose this is a bit of a choice, because it looks fine as it is, but what if we place like a rug underneath this part of the living room? So just underneath the furniture. It's probably easier to see this after the fact, but I just want to have it underneath the furniture. Might have even been easier to place it before all of this, but regardless, I think that it kind of just looks nice like this. You could even just spread it out 1 row further, so it kind of almost creates like a walkway that almost sort of leads you to here or here, like if you have a look at the floor. But anyway, I think that the living room looks really nice like this. With the living room complete, we can now head into the kitchen and start work here. So the first thing we will do is place a block of iron all the way over here in this corner with an oak trapdoor on top. Left of this, a 2x3 row of black concrete, iron bar here, leave a gap of 1 here, place 2 chisel bookshelf, beehive here, and then above this we will place a spruce trapdoor, 2 bookshelves here, and then we will place bookshelves, or rather spruce trapdoors across the top of the bookshelves, and we also want to clad the sides of this with spruce trapdoors as well, just flipped up. So here, here, and here, just like this. Next we will place a painting here, preferably a nicer one. That's the one. Flower pot here, pop inside of it, lantern here, brewing stand here, and then just an item frame here. And this just looks like a nice little shelving unit. You can even stick like a painting behind the brewing stand, but I don't deem it necessary. Next, we are going to place a tripwire hook here, and then a set of chiseled tuff all the way across this wall. We'll place another one here, cauldron here, tripwire hook here, and then 2 more chiseled tuff like this in this position. Then we will place 2 spruce trapdoors here with a brewing stand here, flower pot here, with a couple of item frames here, cake here. Then we will place a couple of flower pots here, and then grey shulker boxes just across the top like this. Then we will place a row of stone bricks here with 2 blast furnaces here and just stone bricks either side. Detector rail on top of one of the blast furnaces. Another brewing stand. A couple of flower pots here. An item frame here. I don't know why there's a flower pot there. Then we will place a polished blackstone pressure plate here. And then against this wall, 2 spruce stairs. A row of fence in front of it. Spruce stairs on the opposite side. Spruce pressure plates on top of the fence. And then we will have a 1x1 painting above this. Leave a gap. Then 2 end rods here. Grey glazed terracotta here. And then all the way over by the store we will have an armor stand. And I don't know why I placed the tripwire hook there. An armor stand here and another tripwire hook there. Which then leads us to here. So inside of this pantry we first of all have to leave a gap of 2. 1, 2, and then place a series of chiseled bookshelves up this back wall. We will then place a scaffolding here, spruce trapdoor here, and then we're missing an item frame for this, but we don't really need the scaffolding anymore, so let's just grab that. And we'll place the item frame on the floor, another trapdoor here, flower pot here and here. We actually have to remove these 2 chisel bookshelves and to stick a pumpkin here and a melon here. And then we can stick a carrot in this item frame. And this looks pretty good. So all we have to do is then just add a little bit of roof material just in here. And that looks great. And we can fill the flower pots in with a couple of mushrooms. And this is just a nice looking pantry. The only thing that you might want to do to possibly improve it, stick a light in the corner, and yeah, that's looking pretty good. Before we move upstairs, we are just going to head into the garage and add a car. Simplest car ever. Pick your favourite colour of wool and matching carpet, place 2 rows of 4 inside the garage, an extra wool here and here, or here and here, glass in front, carpet on top, stone buttons on each one of the 4 corners. You've got the simplest car you don't ever see. And then we can place some glow item frames in the front, and that's literally all there is to it. Now that we have added a car to the garage, we can go ahead and move all the way back over to the opposite side of the house, head upstairs, and first of all, we should probably add some structure up here. So, we are going to add a row of pale oak planks that extends from in between these 2 windows. It extends out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows just like this. We then want to place 2 pale oak door. 3 pale oak, 1, 2, 3, oak door. 3 more oak, 1, 2, 3, oak door, just like this. And then we can just connect all the way over to this wall. So let's... Actually, before we seal these up, we are going to connect this pale oak plank here to this wall, and we will connect this pale oak plank here to this wall. So these are how the rooms shall divide. And we can then extend these up at least a couple of rows, because I'm realizing that we will also have to add in the ceiling material as well, which originally was going to be smooth quartz, but I'm actually thinking, what if we just extend the stone bricks, because I believe we need these. We don't need those, so let's extend these up here like this. And then, why don't we... I'm kind of thinking out loud here, because this isn't how I did it originally, but would it look bad just to extend the walls up to the ceiling, and then kind of just contour to the shape of the roof? Maybe even add some upside down stairs underneath the actual roof shape? Maybe we just have some like really high ceilings. I mean, it might not look as good, maybe, but I think that it'd be worth trying before we just full on just add in like an entire like faux roof. Like I think, like I don't know if this feels a bit too tall. So ideally we would, what we could even do though is just cut these. So we'd lose a row here, and we would lose a row here. So it would actually feel a little bit smaller, like if we placed upside down stairs underneath the roof line. You see, this just feels a bit better to me. We could kind of like make the hallway a little bit, so that's also a possibility as well. Maybe we could just make the hallway a bit different, so we could reduce the amount of space in the hallway. But I actually quite like having high ceilings just like at the top of the hall. Yeah, you see, that feels pretty good. I like that. So let's experiment with this. I think that this is pretty good. For each one of the rooms, let's just take a quick look inside and see about this. So we have to raise these walls up to equal the height. Some of these rooms I'm not sure it will necessarily work, but I don't see why not either, because we can just extend the stairs up just like this all the way up into the... We can make this stone brick. If we place them like this, we don't need to grab actual stone bricks. There we go. And can this be... Okay, so these must be stone bricks. So that's the only little issue here. But alternatively, we could just cover these up a little bit, and then that looks a little bit nice. It's kind of an interesting room shape, if nothing else. And then we can head into this room, and we certainly don't need that. And then this room can be a lot higher. I don't know, I just like the idea, instead of it just being like a flat roof just inside each one of these rooms. What if it's a little bit more dynamic? Kind of goes with the shape of the house. I mean, alternatively, as I said, you could just easily just stick. So I can see that the... There we go. Nope. There we go. So, yeah, I think this feels a little bit better. It feels a little bit less cramped, or at least it's going to when we actually get to this point. But, yeah, this is looking pretty good. So, anyway, all the way at the end of this hall, we want to stack a row of 2 bookshelves from the floor to the ceiling. Spruce stair here, scaffolding here, and a lantern on the table. We want to place a row of free carpet in front of each doorway. I just kind of want to illustrate that there are doors here. So like as we look down this hall, we can kind of tell a little bit. In addition to this, I want 1x1 paintings in between these 2 sets of doors. Just like this. And I also want some paintings just at the top of this wall as well. So maybe here or maybe a bit higher. Maybe like this. We could even go for something like that as well. Like we've got like a 1x2 and a 1x1x1. But what, you guys get the point. That looks pretty good. On this wall is a plant. This is a grey glazed terracotta, flower pot, dead bush, and then just a leaf on top, just like this. And I know that this is insanely random, but I love like the old grandfather clocks. Bell here, chain here, block of iron here, item frame here, clock here, backwards dark oak... Oh, we can't place the backwards dark oak trapdoor. It's not necessarily a bad thing because that actually allows us to keep the clock open, and we can stack up some dark oak trapdoors like this. They're facing the wrong way. Well done, me. Okay, so let's see if we can place them like this, and then on top. And then you can kind of actually see the inner workings of the clock, which is cool. And we don't have much room here, but that's okay. The way that we can fix this, by the way, is to shift the floor line one row over, but it just doesn't look as good. So I kind of like it being a bit open like this, and I guess it makes this a bit more mysterious. But regardless, this is looking so good at the moment. Let's head all the way over here into this room. First thing in this room, we will place 2 spruce planks here in this position, and then spruce signs in front of them. Then against this wall, a double grey bed, just like this, with grey carpet in front. Then, on the wall facing the bed, we'll place an armor stand, chest, tripwire hook, back-to-back spruce doors like this, spruce trapdoors across the top, and then we will flip some spruce trapdoors just up on the side like this. I would prefer if the doors met in the middle, like this, the handles meet in the middle. Sometimes it gets placed the same way and they're offset, and honestly that really annoys me. Anyway, we are also going to stick 2 end rods in the corner, grey glazed terracotta on top, flower pot here, item frame here, and then just 1x2 above the bed. And this is just such a simple, classic, small bedroom design. Absolutely perfect. Next, we can move 1 room up into the bathroom. And in here, we will have 2 more spruce planks here in this position with spruce signs in front. Tripwire hook here, item frame here. I already have this made light blue banner, which acts as a mirror. I'll show you how to make it in a moment, but we are going to apply this above this tripwire hook. Flower pot here. On this wall, we'll place an upside down smooth quartz stair, spruce trapdoor flipped up behind it, and then we will create a rectangular pattern using smooth quartz stairs in a ring like this here against the wall, leather here, and then stone button here, grey carpet in front of the bath. And this is just such a lovely, perfect small bathroom. But in regards to the banner, which honestly I don't even know why I have it ready made, but you know, here's how you make it. Throw down a loom, open it up, light blue banner in there, white dye, and apply either one of the gradient patterns. It genuinely doesn't matter which one you pick, either one of those. Throw that in there, put black dye in, and apply the bordeaux pattern. And there you go. So you actually have both patterns right there. You see, it doesn't really matter which one you use. I think they both look good. I'd maybe tend to err on the side of this one for this room. You could even go for a double mirror. I think that looks alright as well. But regardless, it is now... No, we'll go for one. Regardless, let's move all the way over into this end room. And in this end room, we will stick an armor stand here, chest here, back-to-back spruce doors in front of this. Clad the side with spruce trapdoors and place spruce trapdoors across the top of this. Leave a gap and then place a 2x3 row of grey wool like this with white carpet at the top of the bed and the foot of the bed. We are then going to place a grey glazed terracotta. We'll just leave a gap of 1 right here. Lantern on top. Then we will surround the lantern with some pale oak signs. And in this corner, we'll stick 2 rows of bookshelves, just like this. And originally, I had a decorated pot with a pot inside of it and then a fern. Not certain whether we need it or not. I'll leave it, though, just because. Above the bed, originally, we have a 1x2 painting. Doesn't look bad. And then, I'm wondering whether this... whether we should drop that down another row or whether that looks a bit too much. And then underneath this, if we were to also turn that into stone, I'm actually wondering about that. I clearly used stairs for this because this strikes me as just a little bit weird with it being all pale oak. Like, this should be either like, so it should either be like this, or it should be like this. Like, we should have some stone bricks like this, and then the stairs should gradiate down into the wall. I think that looks better, to be quite honest. But then calls into question whether or not we need the painting above the bed. It does add a nice little pop of colour, I will say, so I think I'll allow it, especially if it's something like that. I also want a little bit 1x1 on this wall. Oh my gosh, we are nailing the colour palette with the paintings in this room. And then, no. Let's go with that one. And then we'll have the World's Ugliest painting here on this wall as well. And I actually forgot to put a tripwire hook here in the wardrobe. And I think that might actually be it, ladies and gentlemen, unless we want full culture in this room, just every single painting ever. That's the one. I think it looks pretty good. I like it. That's the room. With that final detail added, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our brand new suburban house, recently furnished, into our city. The best place for this house for now is going to be at the end of this street, forming a cul-de-sac. This part of the city is due to be renovated in the not too distant future, so I don't want to go too crazy with this house and then just have to remove it anyway. But for now, it looks great here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Also, consider becoming a channel member. You will gain access to loyalty badges, some fun emojis, and a monthly download for every single build used in our city. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.